Hi, I'm Dean Paul Deniston, and I'm here with the Razor Carbon Lux kick scooter. Today we're going to be going over how to change your wheels. This is a pretty easy process and shouldn't have very many complications. It'll take you roughly 10 minutes from start to finish. For this procedure, you're going to need a 5mm Allen wrench. You're also going to need another 5mm Allen wrench. This process can be completed in 4 easy steps. Step 1, removing your axle bolts. Step 2, removing the wheels. Step 3, reinstalling the wheels. And step 4, reinstalling those axle bolts. So let's get started with step 1, removing the axle bolts. For this step, you're gonna need your 2 5mm Allen wrenches. First, locate your axle bolts. There's one on each side of the wheel. Next, insert your Allen wrenches, one in each bolt. You're gonna wanna turn them in opposite directions in order to loosen them and take off the axle bolts. Remember, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. If that's a little confusing, just turn the top one counterclockwise to loosen or clockwise to tighten. Once you have it loosened all the way, simply slide it out and slide the bottom one out as well. Sometimes the longer one can get a little jammed, and it helps to take your Allen wrench and just stuff it through the top and press down lightly in order to pop it through. Now that you have both your axle bolts out, that concludes step 1, removing your axle bolts. Step 2, removing that wheel. Be careful on this step as there are a couple spacers you do not want to lose. You have your 2 axle bolts. One has threads on the outside, the other has threads on the inside. You have your 2 spacers. One goes on each side of the wheel. Your wheel goes right in between the whole setup, and it all sits together nice and smooth. Now your wheel's out and you did not lose your spacers. That concludes step 2, removing your wheels. Step 3, time to put in that nice new shiny wheel. In between your 2 bearings, there's a spacer that keeps your bearings from being crushed when tightened down. This is crucial for a later step as you're gonna wanna make sure the spacer is lined up when you're putting your axles through. Take your long axle bolt, slide it in just a little bit. Put your spacer right on top of that. Slide it a little bit more up. Slide your wheel in next and line that up. This is where it gets tricky. If the spacer between the 2 bearings isn't aligned, you won't be able to get the axle bolt all the way through. The easy way to go about this is to take an Allen wrench, slide it in through the top, and center that spacer. Once you got it centered, that axle will slip straight up. Remember, don't put it all the way up yet as you have one more spacer to throw on. Take your last spacer and slide that right over the axle. And now you got your axle bolt all the way up through with the wheel in place and your spacers installed. That concludes step 3, reinstalling the wheel. Now into step 4, installing your axle bolts. You may be wondering, where's the other bolt? You already put it in and it's good to go. So take your last bolt, slide it in from the top, and start threading it on. Once you get it nice and snug, grab your Allen wrenches and start tightening. This time we're turning the top Allen wrench clockwise. Now it's installed, nice and tight, good to go. And this concludes the process of replacing the wheels on your Razor Carbon Lux kick scooter. I hope you found this video informative. If you are still having any troubles or complications, please feel free to visit our customer support section on razor.com. See you later, alligator.